Now, I'm sure many of you thought that I would just make one video and not another, but you were wrong. Here I am, cuckolds. Now, anyone that has still not subscribed to The Hater, please take a moment to subscribe now. It's going to help your boy out. It's going to motivate me. It's going to make me keep bringing you content, and it's going to make me grow. So if you have a minute for your boy, click on subscribe. Maybe hit the bell icon, whatever the hell that means, right? There's a bell icon. I don't know what it does. I click it. It does nothing for me. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. You know, I get the alerts anyways, cucks. But with that being said, now we're going to be talking about part two of this two-part series, I should say, of Cookie Rhodes and CM Punk, which to me are the same exact thing. Likewise, just like I said about Cookie Rhodes in the previous video, what am I going to say about CM Punk? I'll tell you what I'm going to say. The same thing. CM Punk is a jobber, and his career is very much parallel to Cody Rhodes. In fact, they both went to AEW. So, with that being said, why is it that their returns are being handled the exact same way? All we know about CM Punk is that just like Cookie Rhodes, another thing that they have in common, he wants to main event WrestleMania and beyond. He wants to win the Royal Rumble and beyond. Now, that's a pretty good goal for anybody to have. But the implications are that CM Punk is too good for you fans that love him apparently, to go and perform. CM Punk will only perform when the situation calls for it. At this point, it's obviously too late. He's going to return at the Royal Rumble, and he will likely win it. I mean, Cody Rhodes won last year. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see The Rock coming back. And guess what? Even if The Rock comes back, I can see CM Punk eliminating him. You know, just like The Rock at the Royal Rumble many years ago took the title from CM Punk, I can see CM Punk taking this opportunity from The Rock. I mean, that would be unlikely, but I could see it happening, you know? Which is kind of interesting, but that's neither here nor there. The fact is, at this point, CM Punk debuted last year. I know it was in November, so it's not like it hasn't been like 10 months, but it's been 2 months, right? And at this point, I personally don't care. It's really that simple, right? If CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble, he is a complete hypocrite. I mean, he already is a complete hypocrite, but this would really finish the prophecy, the full turn of CM Punk being a hypocrite. And if you're going to do that, then you may as well make him heel. CM Punk, if he wins the Rumble, in my opinion, should go after Seth Rollins. They can have their blood feud, you know what I'm saying? And the storyline can be this. Seth Rollins can be the face, and he can say, you are a hypocrite, right? You are Brock Lesnar. You came, didn't do anything, went to the Royal Rumble, had one match, and now are main eventing WrestleMania against me, right? Now, obviously, if CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble and chooses Seth Rollins as his opponent, he's obviously not going to main event, like in the sense that he's not going to be in the last match because that's going to be Roman Reigns, obviously, right? But nevertheless, he can main event night one or something, right? And they can pretend that's a WrestleMania main event, even though it obviously is not. So, but that could be the storyline, right? That's a much more simple storyline to be told than him going after Roman. But that's not here nor there. The point is, if this happens, or even if it doesn't happen, he has become that which he pretended to hate. People like The Rock, who would come in at the last moment and steal his opportunity from him, ironically, at the Royal Rumble. That's exactly what he's going to do to somebody else, right? If Cody Rhodes wasn't in this company, right, and CM Punk wasn't in this company, and everything else went the way it has, then it probably, and there was no, like, potential for The Rock to come back, it'd be like LA Knight would win the Rumble, you know what I mean? And that would be a good moment, right? But because we have to tolerate these jobbers coming back and stealing spotlights, right? Now we run the risk of the final two being Cookie Rhodes and CM Punk, two AEW guys. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hater, how can you justify people like Brock Lesnar doing the same thing to Mustafa Ali? Well, I'll tell you how. It's very simple. In one scenario, we have CM Punk stealing the opportunity from LA Knight, who would destroy him in real life. And would also destroy Rollins in real life. In the other, we have Brock Lesnar stealing an opportunity from a beta male compared to Brock Lesnar called Mustafa Ali. Brock Lesnar should be able to steal the opportunity from everybody he wants to because he's Brock Lesnar. It's as simple as that. He is the highest paid guy in the company. He is the biggest draw in the company. And as a result, Brock Lesnar creates money, and that's what we need. We need more Brock Lesnar and less jobbers. Now, with all that being said, the question then becomes, what do we do about CM Punk at WrestleMania if he does not win? In my opinion, the answer is nobody cares at all. Because if he's not going to be, the answer is actually even clearer, right? If he doesn't win, he's just going to go after Seth Rollins anyways, right? It doesn't matter. It's already built in. Like, he's going to be wrestling most likely Seth Rollins, but it could be Roman Reigns. I don't know how they're going to go about it, right? We also have Orton in there. I don't think Orton's going to win 3 Rumbles, but it wouldn't be the most shocking thing ever, right? The idea is this. Seth Rollins, right? It has to wrestle somebody. Or whoever is the champion for the bullshit, the bullshit Seth Rollins title, that person has to wrestle someone, right? And that someone needs to be Cookie Rhodes or CM Punk because they're the only 2 guys that are being presented as contenders, right? So it's probably going to be CM Punk. So I could see CM Punk being thrown out by The Rock, let's say, or whoever, right? And the winner of the Rumble, obviously, going after Roman Reigns. Like, under no circumstances should the winner go after Rollins unless it's CM Punk, right? Because it's just silly. Like, why would anyone go after the Rollins title, which was won in like a 4-man tournament? Like, Seth Rollins was wrestling Montez Ford 2 weeks ago, like for the U.S. title, and now he's the world champion for like a year. It is what it is. He was jobbing to Cesaro, remember that? But anyways, the point stands, Cox, and the idea is this. Well, the winner needs to go after Roman Reigns. CM Punk probably won't be the winner. Or if he is, I don't feel like he's going to go after Roman Reigns. So what does that mean? That means that CM Punk, number 1, will not achieve his goal of main eventing WrestleMania unless he main events night 2 with Roman Reigns, right? And I just don't see that happening for some reason. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it, right? Or CM Punk is going to be in a meaningless throwaway match, which would include the Seth Rollins match, which would also include any other possible match that CM Punk could be put into, right? Meaning that he could have just stayed in AEW and done the same thing. He could have stayed in AEW and wrestled Edge. It would have been more compelling than him wrestling Seth Rollins. But it is what it is. The problem here is that it doesn't matter who he wrestles unless it's Roman Reigns. Which actually, to their credit, adds a possibility that he will, in fact, win the Rumble and go after Roman Reigns. Because that's the only way we can explain this setup, right? Because he hasn't wrestled once, like on TV, since he came back. So what the hell is the problem, right? What the hell is the problem? Why can't he go and have a match against, I don't know, like, I was going to say Dolph Ziggler, but he's not in the company anymore, you know what I'm saying? Why can't he go and have a match against, I don't know, Johnny Gargano, right? Someone small, decent in the ring, that he can manhandle, right? Why can't he just do that? Why can't he have a match against Ludwig Kaiser or some other jobber like that, right? Have some matches, They're saving it for WrestleMania, but they're obviously also saving it for the Rumble. Now, I saw pictures of CM Punk's match against Dominic Mysterio, which was some live event, and he looked like shit. I only saw 2 pictures, but he just looked out of shape, right? And that, plus the fact that he was in AEW, plus the fact that he was in the UFC, where it was proven that he's just unathletic, and the fact that he has gray hair, which normally wouldn't be a problem, but he's like in his mid-40s. He has gray hair. He's out of shape. He got his ass beat in the UFC. All of these things just make it unrealistic that this guy can win the Royal Rumble. Now, I understand it's wrestling, but it's also wrestling, right? Wrestlers are supposed to be strong, supposed to be tough guys. So the implication that he can somehow throw Bobby Lashley out or do anything to Bobby Lashley is just laughable on multiple fronts, right? That's the problem. Like, I support the idea that he wanted to go to UFC and try it out. I think it shows a lot of character, actually, even though he's kind of like a piece of crap, it seems like to me. He's just annoying. But he did show heart in going to the UFC. The problem is we have Lashley, who's had a successful MMA career in Bellator, I believe, right? We have Lashley, who looks better than him, is in better shape, even though they're the same age. Like, when I say in better shape, he's like 100 times in better shape, right? And who, in my opinion, Lashley's a better wrestler as well, but that's not here nor there, right? So Lashley had a better MMA career. Lashley looks better than him in terms of, like, he looks like he's in better shape. Lashley is obviously bigger and stronger than him. And then, despite all the facts saying that Lashley is the better athlete, I'm supposed to believe that CM Punk is going to win a match that Lashley's in? It's too unbelievable. It's just ridiculous. At this point, it would be like the equivalent of Hornswoggle beating Lashley, because there is a 0% chance that CM Punk can beat up Lashley in real life. 0. It's not even 1, right? It's 0. It's the same probability that Hornswoggle has of beating Lashley up, right? Same probability that I have, that you have, right? It's almost impossible. And when I say almost impossible, I say impossible. So that being said, CM Punk's return, in my opinion, has been completely botched, and I mean, personally, I don't care. I don't care about him outside of the fact that he might win the Rumble, and therefore that makes it interesting because then that tells us what the WrestleMania main event is. But I'm not excited for it. I'm excited for the Rumble a little bit, just because there is an element of the unknown. Like there's a small chance that LA Knight wins, right? There's a chance that John Cena comes back and wins. There's a chance that Orton wins. There's a chance that The Rock comes back and wins. There's a chance that Brock Lesnar comes back and wins, right? There's a lot of chances that some things could happen, right? But insofar as what we know, it seems like it's going to be the safe money is either Cookie Rhodes or CM Punk. But that's the beauty of the Rumble. Anything can happen. And the worse the Rumbles get every year, the more likely we are to have something like The Rock coming back and winning as a viable possibility, right? Why? I'll tell you why. Because everyone else sucks. Plain and simple, motherfuckers. That being said, take care of yourselves. Hater back.